I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Amidst the euphoria of the concert, amidst the flashing lights and the sound of thousands of fans screaming their idol's name, a small, unintentional moment occurred, yet it touched the hearts of millions of armies worldwide. A moment uncaptured by official cameras, yet it shook social media and left profound questions. What really happened that night? Who was standing in the crowd, silently carrying unspoken memories and love? That day, Jin of BTS's first solo concert was the center of attention. But who would have thought? It wasn't just Jin's appearance that became the talk of the town. A man stood among the sea of people, looking simple in a retro jacket and a knitted hat. There was no glitz, no special camera attention. However, his facial expression hinted at something deeper than just being a spectator. That man was Taehyung. Yes, V of BTS. But that night, he wasn't V. He was simply Taehyung, someone delving into past memories, standing in the crowd as a fan, as a friend, as another member of BTS. The intro to Dynamite began to play. The cheers soared. But for Taehyung, this wasn't just a popular song. It was a song that held history, pain, and triumph. It symbolized BTS's resurgence amidst the pandemic, when the world was about to collapse and only hope remained. In that moment, his body trembled slightly, not from the cold, but from the flood of memories. The fans around him caught a rarely seen expression, a blank stare that suddenly turned into a wistful smile. Some even said they saw a thin tear well up before it was quickly wiped away with a warm smile and a small dance move, as if he were saying, "I'm okay." Taehyung didn't arrive with an entourage. He wasn't sitting in the VIP row. There were no managers or staff surrounding him. He was simply there, alone, like an old friend eager to watch their friend shine. What made this moment so touching was the way he danced. Not stage choreography, but small, emotional movements. He held a water bottle in his hand, as if holding back feelings that were about to spill. In the chorus, as the lyrics, shining through the city with a little funk and soul, rang out, Taehyung stared up at the night sky. He was silent. Then he closed his eyes. There was serenity in the sadness. There was longing in every tiny movement. He danced not for the audience, but for himself, for memories, for friends, for BTS. In less than an hour, a short video of Taehyung dancing went viral on social media. The hashtag Taehyung concert immediately reached #1 trending worldwide. Fan bases from various countries began interpreting his expressions, movements, and even his way of holding a water bottle. "He looks like he's trying to calm himself," wrote one viral account X. "He's dancing to remember, not to perform," wrote another. Some also commented, "While Jin shines on stage, Taehyung shines quietly in the crowd." Even some senior Korean artists commented, "He's not dancing. He's writing poetry." Questions arose. Was this a coincidence? Or was it part of a secret BTS project? Some fans speculated it was a snippet from a documentary they were preparing. Others believed Taehyung was filming a personal vlog, secretly recording their emotional journey towards something bigger. More than that, this moment opened many people's eyes to how BTS supports each other even when it's not always visible. They may no longer be on stage together, but they are there behind the scenes, quietly, without announcement, without the spotlight. And that's where their true love shines through. As the concert ended and the audience began to leave, Taehyung stood still for a moment. He didn't rush to leave. He looked at the stage once more, then walked away with a little dance. But his steps were heavy, like someone who had just weathered a storm of emotions. Yet he kept smiling as if to say, "I'll be okay. We'll all be okay." And that night, even though he didn't say a word, Taehyung spoke more than anyone else. He spoke with his gestures, his eyes, his tears, and his love. Amidst the frenzy of the stage, many fans noticed a seemingly trivial yet meaningful moment. As the intro to Dynamite began to echo and the spotlights swept across the audience, Jin, who was preparing to begin his part, suddenly lifted his head. His gaze was sharp yet gentle, scanning the sea of people as if searching for something or someone. And as his eyes settled on one spot, The smile on his face dropped for a moment. He didn't stop singing, his professionalism intact. But in that moment, his facial expression seemed to speak 1,000 words. Many ARMYs believe that was the moment Jin saw Taehyung. He knew, and like a secret code understood only by those who grew up together, Jin looked up at the sky for a moment, and then smiled. The next big question arose. Where were Jungkook and Jimin at that time? Jungkook was known to be overseas filming his solo project. But just hours after Taehyung's video went viral, Jungkook's personal account on Platform X, formerly Twitter, liked a post containing a video clip of Taehyung dancing while crying softly. It wasn't a coincidence. And Jimin? ARMYs in the VIP row reported that a man wearing a black hoodie and a mask sat in the back row of the VIP section, only appearing at the beginning and not returning when the concert began. Many believe it was Jimin. Perhaps he came to watch briefly, then withdrew, allowing Jin to take the stage entirely, uninterrupted, without any additional spotlight. What further convinced fans that this wasn't just an emotional moment was the fact that over the past few weeks, various signals had emerged from the members. From nostalgic posts on Weverse, to suddenly reposting old photos, to cryptic comments like, "Time will bring us all together again. Wait for us." Fans theorized that Taehyung's appearance that night was part of a soft launch for something bigger. Many suspected BTS was preparing a reunion project to be released after all the members had completed their military service. And Jin's moment at the concert was both a form of emotional support and a reminder that they never really left. Undeniably, ARMY played a huge role in making the night more than just a concert. Fan communities around the world greeted the moment with an overwhelming response. Thousands of fan art, reaction videos, and even open letters to Taehyung and Jin flooded social media in less than 24 hours. One viral post read, "We didn't just see an idol crying. We saw humans missing their home." And for BTS, that home is BTS themselves. ARMYs weren't just crying for Taehyung. They were crying because they missed that togetherness. Because they, too, had been through hard times with BTS, and that night was a reminder of how deep their bond was. Jin's concert closed with a hopeful song, and like the final scene in a movie, Taehyung was seen slowly walking away, his body swaying slightly, as if he didn't want the memories to fade away. But before he completely disappeared from the crowd, he paused, turned to the stage, and nodded slowly. Perhaps it was a message to Jin. Perhaps it was a greeting to ARMY. Or perhaps it was a sign that BTS would soon return. Because for BTS and ARMY, there are no truly eternal goodbyes. Only pauses. And every pause has an end. Maybe that night was the first step towards something bigger. A reunion. A new beginning. So stay tuned to K-pop news, because we'll be the first to report when that big moment finally arrives.